This was pretty standard. So we had this 2 or 3 bedroom house, and just in suburbia Santa Cruz, and just a regular standard median priced house. And that's how it was for everybody. So everybody, people that had a minimum wage job, they could do even better. Your mortgage would have been about $50 a month. As many people that wanted to be homeowners could be homeowners back then, no matter where you lived. Even if it happened to be New York or San Francisco, likely anybody could pretty much be a homeowner. So that's a reality that I've had to see crumble apart my whole life. And it hurts me so much to see this world that I'm leaving my children, and I cannot do nothing. I am so compelled to speak out, at least, and be on record. Even if nobody ever listened to me, at least I'm on record saying I want justice to prevail. I want freedom for people, not some people, but all people. And how do you do it? Through sound currency. The sound currency is only a means to an end, because eventually you'd wean yourself off it. It would be revealed as a silly game that it is. Here, you collect all this wampum. All of a sudden, we've got so much wampum. Nobody's hardly even going to work anymore. We've got machines doing all the work. So our biggest challenge is finding ways to spend our time. I mean, that's the world that we could have, folks, that God gave us the capacity to realize. And we've all just got to be honest with ourselves and understand the forces that are opposed to that, opposed to setting the captives free, that they want to keep us chained and leashed and down and oppressed, keep people in fear and say, listen, you better go along to get along. You better kiss my behind, because you know what? You're going to end up like that homeless person out there. You want that? See, so this element of fear and reverence have a core relation. That's something people have got to understand. So it is really like the God of this world, i.e. Satan, through the money, extracting his perverted form of reverence through this fear, making us afraid. Hey, you better do it, or else you're going to be abjectly poor and destitute like that homeless guy. You want to live like that? Okay, and just die out in the cold? Is that what you want for you and your kids? No, you better do anything. You better sell your soul, okay? You better go along and get along. You better pay your taxes. You better not screw up. You better kiss Satan's behind and all his minions thereof, or else you can end up like that. Or maybe, you know what, if you say, no, I'm going to survive. I'm going to break the law. I'm going to be like Robin Hood. I'm going to go steal from the rich, okay, so that I can have, because I'm the poor. So you wind up in jail. So not only they've taken away your freedom doubly when you're in prison. So, do I recommend crime? No, I don't. There's a little thing called adverse possession I'm going to try to get into very soon, probably on the next video. But it's so important that people understand how simple economics is. And, when you do that, you're empowered. At least you're empowered to say, I get it. I understand why the problems aren't solved. It's not because there's not plentiful and simple solutions out there. It's that now it's not in the interest of people that have an interest in the poverty and all the problems that are created from people being poor, like the crime. And it's easier to enlist people into the military when there's high unemployment, fewer job opportunities. Then it's good for the war machine, the military-industrial complex like Eisenhower warned about. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of very noble servicemen and women out there. And I myself, look, we're born instinctively to be warriors. I mean, it's just what a man does. He wants to be the protector, the defender of the weak, and and the handicapped and the women. This is an innate. This is in us, unless you're a coward. Okay. And so you've got an instinct. That warrior nature has an instinct, and God knows that for the right cause, you don't even need to pay me. Okay, I'll go and do what I need to do. I mean, these guys are doing these horrendous acts to people, and I'm not going to stand idly by. I can't live with myself, so I'm compelled that the Spirit of God, through this instinct, has compelled me to go out and to defend, the weak out there, and anybody that's being persecuted, and you've got to do what you've got to do. So you've got the debt industrial complex. You understand that if everybody was prosperous, it's axiomatic to say that there'd be no debt industrial complex. And it goes on all day, folks. You know, the insurance industrial complex, um, the landlord industrial complex, that would be the housing industrial complex, is all part and parcel of that. So you understand why there's all this interest in maintaining the problems and why the problems don't go away. It's super, super simple. And you know, I hope you understand now about, you know, checks and balances, that it's like a counterbalance. It really is. So imagine a scale and you just counterbalance. That's all you're doing, you know. So you understand a COLA is highly justified if markets are being manipulated, and you know, we've got you know, people rigging markets, price fixing. Then you blame the cause. You don't blame the effect, because the COLA is the effect. So that's why it's not a chicken or the egg story. The COLA is the effect of market manipulation and price fixing. So it's justified. You know, they're not asking for any more than what they had before. They want their buying power to be maintained. They don't want the inflation to go up. They're not benefits hurting them. They're the labor class. They're the ones that have to pay the price. They're not benefiting from the cost of living going up. They're being hurt by it. So, you know, the way to heal them is through a COLA, a cost of living adjustment. No, you blame the market manipulators, those that have an interest in cost of living inflation going up, in fixing markets and fixing prices. So those are the causers. So when the employers don't like having to give their employees raises, don't blame your employees. You blame the market manipulators. I mean, is what I'm saying, does this take a big brain to figure this stuff out? You blame the people that are fixing price. You say, no, you demand supply and demand-based economy. Okay, you demand sound currency. Okay, it's as simple as that. You say, look, if there's superfluity in the land, let it be realized. Let us say, yes, we've made progress. We've made great strides. Everybody can be driving new cars anytime they want. Anybody can live anywhere in the world anytime they want. Yes, we can all be free. We can all have clean drinking water. We can all have plenty of clean, healthy food. This is the reality. That's all I'm trying to say, folks. So the way sound currency would do that, folks, is by having that counterweight in place. You say, okay, well, we've got extra stuff. Guess what? The prices are going down. So you've got the opposite of cost of living inflation. You've got cost of living deflation. All right, and so as you see things gradually getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, you get more and more secure. Money becomes less and less relevant, and eventually you see where that leads. It leads to a situation where you no longer need money anymore. It becomes, you know, the silly thing that it is. You see right through it. You see through the guise of Satan and how we've been screwed, and all these minions at the top who have been doing that screwing, you know, and just trying to deceive people. And deceit is a very powerful tool. You got to understand confusion. You see, they use confusion to deceive people. They say, well, it's all a gray area. It could be this way, it could be, but there's no absolute truth. I mean, there is no absolute right or wrong. I mean, that by itself is a lie from the pit of hell. It's like Satan telling Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden that if you eat this fruit, you surely won't die. Well, it's what's called a half-truth, because they didn't die immediately as if they had just blown their brains out, okay? But they died gradually, okay? So there was this whole miasma, this gray area that was created. Well, can we trust God or not? Should we trust the evil one that deceived us? No, then they found out